My name is Margaret Davis. I'm 72 years old, and I want to tell you about the loneliest hours of my life. For 8 months, I lived in a prison. Not a prison with bars and guards, but a prison of pain that woke me every single night at exactly 3 a.m. Not 2:45, not 3:15. Exactly 3 a.m. Like my body had set an alarm, but instead of a buzzer, it was a deep, throbbing ache in my right knee that pulled me out of sleep with the force of a scream. The pain at night was different from the daytime discomfort, sharper, more persistent, like someone was twisting a knife inside my joint and wouldn't stop. I'd lie there in the darkness, trying not to move, trying not to wake my husband Tom, but the pain demanded attention. It screamed at me. Eventually, I'd shuffle to the kitchen, every step in agony, microwave a heating pad, and sit alone at the kitchen table, waiting for dawn. 3 hours, every night, alone with my pain. Tom would find me there in the morning, exhausted and broken. "Did it happen again?" he'd ask, even though he already knew the answer. I'd just nod. Too tired to talk, too tired to cry anymore. The pain started small. It didn't begin this way. 6 years ago, my knee started talking to me. That's what I called it, talking. A little whisper of discomfort when I climbed stairs, a quiet complaint when I gardened too long. I could manage it. Advil in the morning, ice after working in the yard. It was annoying, but it was life. I'm 72. I expected some aches. But then about 8 months ago, everything changed. I don't know what triggered it. Maybe I twisted it getting out of the car. Maybe I walked too much at my granddaughter's soccer tournament. Maybe it was just time catching up with me. But suddenly, the whisper became a scream. The first night. I remember the first night it woke me. It was a Tuesday in April. I'd gone to bed feeling fine. Well, my normal fine. A little stiff, a little sore, but nothing unusual. Then at 3:07 a.m., I woke up gasping. My knee felt like someone had poured gasoline inside the joint and lit a match. Burning, throbbing, pulsing pain that radiated from my kneecap down to my ankle and up into my thigh. I sat up, breathing hard, trying to understand what was happening. Tom stirred beside me. "You okay, Maggie?" "My knee," I whispered. "Something's wrong." He turned on the bedside lamp. My knee looked normal. No swelling, no redness, nothing visible. But inside, it was screaming. We tried everything that night. Ice, heat, elevation, massage. Nothing touched it. Finally, around 5:30 a.m., the pain dulled enough that I could doze off for another hour before the alarm went off. I thought it was a fluke, one bad night. But the next night it happened again. 3 a.m., same knee, same burning, throbbing agony. And the night after that. And the night after that. The isolation of 3 a.m. If you've never experienced chronic nighttime pain, let me tell you what it's really like. It's not just the physical suffering, it's the loneliness. At 3 a.m., the world is asleep. The house is silent. Even the neighborhood dogs have stopped barking. It's just you and the pain alone in the darkness. I'd sit at the kitchen table with my heating pad, watching the clock tick from 3 to 3:30 to 4. Every minute felt like an hour. Sometimes I'd turn on the TV just to hear human voices, but late night infomercials and old movies couldn't distract me from the throbbing in my knee. I felt invisible, like I was living in a parallel universe where everyone else got to sleep and I was sentenced to suffer alone while they dreamed. The daytime exhaustion. The worst part wasn't even the nighttime pain. It was what the lack of sleep did to my days. I was exhausted all the time, bone-deep, crushing exhaustion that no amount of coffee could fix. I'd nod off during my favorite TV shows. I'd forget what I was saying mid-sentence. I snapped at Tom over things that didn't matter, like leaving a coffee cup on the counter. "I'm sorry," I'd say afterward, crying. "I'm just so tired." He'd hug me and say, "I know, Maggie, I know." But he didn't really know. How could he? He slept through the night. He woke up rested. He had energy for our grandkids, for errands, for life. I was disappearing. The woman I used to be, the one who hosted book club, who volunteered at the library, who took long walks with my daughter, was fading away, replaced by this exhausted, irritable stranger. The breaking point. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning in November. I'd been awake since 3 a.m. again. By 7 a.m., I was making breakfast for Tom, moving on autopilot. I put bread in the toaster, and then I don't remember what happened next. I fell asleep standing up. The next thing I knew, the smoke alarm was screaming. The kitchen was filled with smoke. The toast had burned to charcoal. Tom came running down the stairs. He found me standing at the counter, tears streaming down my face, the ruined toast in my hand. "I can't do this anymore," I sobbed. "I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. The pain won't let me." Tom held me while I cried. For the first time in 8 months, I admitted how bad it really was, how scared I was, how hopeless I felt. "We're going to fix this," he said, but I didn't believe him. What could we do that we hadn't already tried? My daughter's question. That afternoon, Tom called our daughter Rebecca. She's a physical therapist, the smart one in the family, we always joke. Rebecca came over that evening. She sat with me at the kitchen table, the same table where I'd spent so many lonely 3 a.m. hours, and she asked me questions, not about my knee, about my routine. "Mom, when does the pain start?" "Around 3 a.m. "And what do you do when it wakes you?" "I come down here, heat up a pad, and wait for it to pass." She was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then she asked the question that changed everything. "Have you tried warming your knee before bed instead of after the pain wakes you?" I stared at her. It seemed too simple, too obvious. Surely I'd thought of that, but I hadn't. For 8 months, I'd been reacting to the pain, trying to fight it after it had already arrived. It had never occurred to me to try to prevent it from coming in the first place. "The problem," Rebecca explained, "is that when you sleep, your body stops producing cortisol. That's your natural anti-inflammatory hormone. It drops to its lowest level between 2 and 4 a.m. That's when inflammation spikes. That's when pain wakes you up." She continued, "But if you warm the joint before bed, increase blood flow, relax the muscles around it, you might be able to prevent that inflammation spike from being so severe." It made sense. It made so much sense. But I'd tried heating pads before. They were uncomfortable, corded. I'd burned myself twice falling asleep with one still plugged in. "Not a regular heating pad," Rebecca said. She pulled out her phone and showed me something. This. The first night. That night, I tried Rebecca's suggestion. At 9 p.m., instead of waiting for pain to ambush me at 3 a.m., I sat on the couch with my new therapeutic massager wrapped around my knee. It was different from the old heating pads I'd used. Cordless, comfortable. The heat wrapped all the way around my knee, not just on one side, and there was a gentle vibration, like a massage, that felt soothing in a way I hadn't expected. I set it to medium heat and let it run for 20 minutes while I watched the evening news with Tom. The warmth felt good, really good. Not burning, not uncomfortable, just a steady, penetrating heat that seemed to reach deep into the joint. The vibration was subtle but relaxing. I could feel my muscles loosening, the tension I'd been carrying all day melting away. When it automatically shut off after 20 minutes, I felt calm, almost sleepy. I went to bed at 10 p.m., same as always. Tom kissed me good night. "I hope tonight's better." he whispered. Me too, I said. But I didn't really believe it would be. I expected to wake at 3 a.m. like always. When I opened my eyes, something was different. Light. Sunlight was streaming through the bedroom window. I blinked, confused. What time was it? I turned my head to look at the clock. 6:47 a.m. My heart started pounding. I sat up quickly, too quickly, and felt nothing. Well, not nothing. My knee was stiff, the way it always is in the morning, but there was no searing pain, no throbbing agony, no burning fire inside my joint. My knee felt quiet. I looked over at Tom. He was still asleep, snoring softly. I'd slept through the night. For the first time in 8 months, I'd slept through the entire night. I sat there in bed, tears running down my face. Not tears of pain this time. Tears of relief. Tom woke up and saw me crying. His face fell. Did it happen again? I shook my head, unable to speak. Maggie, what's wrong? Nothing, I finally managed. Nothing's wrong. I slept. Tom, I slept through the night. He pulled me into his arms and we both cried. The next 2 weeks, that first night wasn't a fluke. The second night I did the same thing. 9 p.m., 20 minutes of warmth and gentle massage. Bed at 10 p.m., I woke up at 6:30 a.m. The third night, same routine, same result. By the end of the first week, I'd slept through the night 6 times. The one night I didn't, I'd forgotten to use the massager. I'd fallen asleep on the couch watching TV. Sure enough, 3 a.m. rolled around and the pain woke me. The pattern was undeniable. When I prepared my knee before bed, I slept. When I didn't, I woke in pain. My life 3 months later. It's been 3 months since that first full night of sleep. I'm not going to tell you my knee is perfect. I'm 72 years old. I have arthritis. Some days are harder than others, but I sleep. Every night at 9 p.m., I use my massager. 20 minutes. It's as routine now as brushing my teeth, and then I sleep through the night. I have my mornings back. I wake up rested. I make breakfast without falling asleep standing up. I have coffee with Tom on the porch and actually enjoy it instead of just trying to stay awake. I have my energy back. Last week I went to my granddaughter's soccer game and stayed the whole time, even the overtime. I didn't need to leave early. I wasn't exhausted. I have my patience back. Tom and I don't fight anymore. I don't snap at him over nothing. We laugh again. But the biggest change isn't physical. It's emotional. For 8 months, I dreaded going to bed. I knew what was waiting for me at 3 a.m. Bed wasn't rest. It was just the place where pain found me. Now, I look forward to sleep. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop. I go to bed knowing I'm going to wake up in the morning, rested and ready for the day. What I wish I'd known looking back. I wish I'd understood something sooner. Nighttime pain is different from daytime pain. During the day, I was moving. My body was producing cortisol, my natural anti-inflammatory. My joints were staying lubricated with movement. But at night, all of that stopped. My cortisol dropped. I lay still for hours, and inflammation took over. I was fighting the wrong battle. I was trying to react to pain after it woke me, when what I needed was to prevent it before it started. Rebecca explained it to me this way. Mom, would you rather fight a fire after your house is burning or install smoke detectors and fire extinguishers before the fire starts? The answer was obvious. To anyone reading this, if you're reading this because you wake up in pain at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., if you know the loneliness of those dark hours, I want you to know something. You don't have to live like this. For 8 months, I thought this was just my life now. I thought nighttime pain was something I had to endure, something I had to accept. I was wrong. The solution was simpler than I imagined. Not easy. It required consistency and nightly routine, but simple. I'm not telling you to buy what I bought. I'm telling you to try something different. Stop reacting to pain after it wakes you. Start preventing it before you go to sleep. Warm your joints. Increase blood flow. Relax your muscles. Give your body what it needs to get through those critical hours between 2 and 4 a.m. when your natural defenses are lowest. Will it work for everyone? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a 72-year-old woman who got her life back. But I do know this. Doing nothing guarantees nothing changes. And I couldn't live with another 8 months of 3 a.m. wake-up calls. My last thought. Last week, Tom and I were lying in bed about to turn off the lights. He looked over at me and said, "You know what I realized? You're smiling again." I hadn't even noticed. But he was right. For 8 months, I'd forgotten how to smile. Pain had stolen that from me, but now it's back. My smile, my sleep, my life. If you're suffering through those dark, lonely 3 a.m. hours right now, I want you to know relief is possible. You don't have to be a prisoner to pain. You don't have to spend another night watching the clock tick from 3 to 4 to 5 tick. You can sleep through the night. You can wake up rested. You can get your life back. I did. And if a stubborn 72-year-old woman who thought she'd tried everything can find relief, maybe you can too. Sleep well. You deserve it.